Good evening and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting for December 10th, 2019. We're going to call the meeting to order. We're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask everyone to stand in one moment, and afterwards we'll have a moment of silence. But we have some special guests here this evening. They're going to help us with the pledge. We have Boy Scouts here and some scout troops here from the Boy Scouts of America. They meet at number 4 Fire Hall. We have two troops. We have our girl troop, actually, from 9143. And our boy troop of 143. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come up and help us out, and everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Circle round, circle round. There you go. Here come.
Troops, whenever you're ready.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you, Scouts. We appreciate you coming out this evening. Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mayor Grieslock?
Here.
Mrs. Gatos?
Here.
Mr. Poach?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Johns?
Here.
Mr. Ursinko?
Here.
Mr. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Little?
Here.
Mr. Ratcher?
Here.
Ms. Rock?
Here.
Mr. Hugus?
Here.
Mr. Sedlak?
Here.
Mr. Weldon?
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with our public comment period on proposed agenda items only. Your comments will be held for the agenda items only. You will have another opportunity at the end of the meeting to speak about any municipal item. Is there anyone that is signed in or that would like to sign in to discuss anything that is on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we're going to move on to our next section. We have an executive session announcement. The council conducted an executive session for personnel and litigation reasons prior to Citizens Night, Thursday, December 5th, 2019, beginning at 6:15 p.m. until 7 p.m., and also before tonight's council meeting, beginning at 6:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at tonight's December 10th council meeting. Council, in front of you are the minutes of the budget hearing of November 7th, 2019, the Citizens Night meeting of November 7th, 2019, the council work session of November 7th, 2019, the regular council meeting of November 12th, 2019, and the budget hearing of November 14th, 2019. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or additions? Seeing none. And we did discuss all of these at our agenda setting meeting on Thursday. We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Reports of our tax collections. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. List of bills and budget transfers. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And the payroll report.
So moved to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities. What we discussed on Thursday about the authorities portion of the vacancies, that is our Monroeville Finance Authority and our municipal authority. That these are two vacancies that have to wait until January. There's some case law that says that we have to wait because the vacancy doesn't actually exist. We discussed briefly that maybe council would consider that to hold that same line for the other boards and commissions that we have here. That's certainly at the pleasure of council. But there are also some terms that are already expired that are vacant. So at this point, if council, Mrs. Gatos, start with you. If you have anything you wanted to,
Yeah, I want to do a nomination for someone that had not had their name in last month, Dan Gerhardt for the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals.
I'll second.
there's a motion to nominate and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Anything else, Mrs. Gatos?
No, that's it, thank you.
Mr. Poach?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Harvey?
I just want to nominate, or I think this person's been nominated. I want to make a move to appoint Michael Gatos to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to appoint. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else, Mr. Harvey?
No.
Mr. Johns?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Arasinko?
The only thing I have is I'm still going to ask for a Ward 5 person to please volunteer for our Park and Rec Board. Other than that, nothing, sir.
Mr. Duncan, anything this
I'll
evening?
do it next month.
I have nothing.
Mr. Wilson?
I have two.
That's what
Go ahead,
For
sir.
the library board, Kathy Forrest for Ward 7.
I'll second.
Is that nominated?
I'm sorry, Tom, Mr. Wilson, is that a appointment or a nomination?
It's a nomination.
That's an appointment.
Appointments, she's already been.
Oh, nomination, I guess,
Nomination,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a nomination.
Nomination.
Yeah.
I'll still second.
Wait, she
No,
was
actually, that's-
nominated. She was nominated.
Yeah, I thought this was an
November.
appointment.
Okay, well, that's
Well,
what
we
I
can't
thought.
appoint her till January.
Well, I was under.
No, this one.
I was under the impression everybody
Yeah.
was appointed, or
Everyone-
nominated.
Correct. In November,
Except for anyone that didn't have their paperwork, and then the gentleman that I did had not,
but everyone that already had their name
Has
listed
the
in
dates,
November
I think.
was nominated
Yes.
on November 12th.
Right.
So, yes, everyone that was previously in there, they were nominated on the 12th of November.
After he's done, then I do have somebody I'd like to appoint.
We didn't move on, so you have time.
Okay.
So, Mr. Wilson,
So where are we on Kathy Forrest?
she's already been nominated on November 12th of 2019, so if you.
Okay.
so if
She's
you-
still serving her current
Okay,
term.
and
to
then
the end of December.
Parks and Rec,
Wait.
Pastor Scott Gallagher in Ward 7 requesting his second term.
Him he can do, there's
A
no,
nomination, right?
That's a nomination.
that's a nomination, he can do that one.
Yeah, so
Nominated.
let's start with Kathy Forrest. Are you making a motion to appoint her to the library
Yeah.
board?
Yes.
We said we couldn't do that until January.
January.
Barbara, we have to, your opinion on,
No, I'm not concerned about the library board. The principal appointments that we could not do were the authorities because of the length of a term under the Municipal Authorities Act being until the first Monday in January. These other boards expire at the end of the year. It's council's choice to wait or to appoint them now.
don't
They've
we-
been nominated
why don't we do it all
for the
in
requisite
January?
25 days, so if you want to appoint, you can.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to appoint.
there we go.
Second.
Thank
We have a
you.
motion
There we go.
and a
Thank
second
you
to
for clearing it
appoint.
up, Mr. Red.
Very good. Motion and a second to appoint Kathy Forrest to the library board. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We got it, okay.
Okay,
And then,
and then-
Mr. Wilson, you have something else.
And then Parks and Rec, Pastor Scott Gallagher, I'd like to appoint
That'd be-
Pastor
That'd be a nomination.
Gallagher
Nomination.
to the Parks and Rec
That's a
Board.
nomination.
That's a nomination.
Nomination, Tom.
Thank you. I would
And I'll
like to
second your
nominate,
nomination.
We're gonna get it here eventually.
I hope so.
So,
Second.
Mr. Wilson, you're making a motion to nominate Reverend Gallagher?
Yes,
We have
I
a
am.
second for
Yes.
that?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very
And,
good. The ayes have it.
That's it.
Very good. Mr. Duncan?
Yes, I had one I didn't realize. Zoning Hearing Board, Jim Rosenpaul,
I'll second.
like to appoint.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Pardon me while I just get my paperwork in front of
There's
me.
another one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Mr. Rosapel to the zoning hearing board. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I have another one, Mayor, I'm sorry.
We got time.
Police Civil Service Commission, Bill McClellan,
I'll
requesting a
second.
second term.
I'll second.
All these.
We have a motion and a second to appoint.
Who cares? It's the second word. I
Yeah.
got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Very
Okay,
good.
well then
Let's
let's
do that one,
appoint
huh?
Amanda Settlemyre to the Convention Visitors Bureau.
There you go.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Mrs. Settlemyre. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
What else can we do?
And then while, since everybody's getting in on it, I would just, I can't make the motion, but what I would request is that someone, I want to seek a motion to appoint Darlene Cole to the OPEB
Sure.
Employee Trust
I would like
Committee.
to do that since I'm a member of that board.
Exactly. She's
Second.
served this committee, and she does very well.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
You know what, kids, we really do know what we're doing sometimes. Just
Don't look
sometimes.
like it right now.
No, we're doing good right now, but we apologize.
That's a lie.
We're getting it right.
Always
We're getting it right. We're taking our time, and we're doing it the right way. So,
Public government's like sausage. You shouldn't see how it's made.
so, ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else on this item? Any other appointments or nominations that
Thank
anyone would
God,
like
no.
to entertain? Very good.
I hope not.
Thank you. Moving over to our bids and proposals. We have one this evening, our surplus equipment bid. Mr. Little, please.
Okay, we have some assets, some vehicles that we have auctioned off and seeking a motion to release those, and for the price of $22,443.25.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arasenko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our consent agenda, old business, one item, 18-3-ST. Mr. Little, please.
Yeah, Joseph N. M. Knapp, applicant is requesting site plan approval to construct 5,606 square feet of warehouse building and associated site amenities. The property is known as Lot 1 in the Moya Industrial Park and identified as parcel 741B42H in the M1 Planning Industrial Zoning District. Applicant is requesting reapproval of this site plan. Council approved this site plan on November the 13th, 2018, and there is a letter attached as council has reviewed at the work session last Thursday.
So moved to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments?
Question.
Go ahead.
Again, I know I asked the question, but so it's clear. He's asking for a year extension? So is he asking to be approved through 2020?
Correct. He has a year to get started, 2 years to get finished. He hasn't started the project yet. He's still going through some permitting issues.
Right.
And he ran out of time.
Okay. But everything else is fine, correct? Is that what we?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arasenko?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our motions, we have one motion this evening. Mr. Little.
Yeah, this is a motion to authorize to advertise an ordinance amending ordinance number 2678, appointing Timothy J. Little as the municipal manager of the municipality of Monroeville and establishing the compensation and benefits of the municipal manager pursuant to section 701 of the Monroeville Home Rule Charter.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? I'll just say this is something that council has to do with the municipal manager once every 2 years. And we're authorized to advertise so this can be considered in January. So we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arasenko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Welcome back, Tim.
Thank you.
The first step.
We haven't
the first
voted
step
on it, you haven't voted on it yet.
We got it advertised. That's a step in the right
Be
direction.
careful what you ask.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our ordinances this evening. We have 7 ordinances. There's a group of them that all revolve around the budget. Mr. Ratcher, please.
An ordinance of the municipality of Monroeville fixing the real estate millage for land, buildings, and structures for 2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Any comments? And we just want to clarify, there is the millage rate has remained the same this year. There are no tax increases for 2020. We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arasenko?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
An ordinance of the municipality of Monroeville to provide for the adoption of a budget containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures for the calendar year beginning January 1, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any comments?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harvey.
I just wanted to make a comment and thank council for approving and helping support the additional EMS funds that we gave the volunteer fire departments. However, I want to make it clear to not only the fire chiefs, but to council that I assure you that myself and Mr. Little and Mr. Ratcher are going to meet with the fire chiefs concerning the distribution of those funds and what they can be used for before they are given out. So I wanted to assure you that there'll be some management conditions behind the distribution of those funds.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other comments, council? We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns? Aye. Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
Next, we have an ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville continuing the deed transfer, mercantile tax, business privilege tax, and local services tax pursuant to the Local Tax Enabling Act of 1965 as amended.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville adjusting the salary system structure for 2020.
Motion to
Motion.
approve.
We have a motion to approve. Mrs. Gatos, is that a second?
Sure.
Great.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve.
Why not?
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville establishing the 2020 fee schedule.
So move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
An ordinance authorizing the proper officials of Monroeville to enter into a collective bargaining agreement for the years 2019 through 2022 with the Police Department Wage Policy Committee of the Municipality of Monroeville.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Very good. Is there any comments or questions?
No.
This is covering from the beginning of this year because we didn't settle the contract till later, correct?
Correct. Yeah, from January 1st of 2019 until December 31st of 2022. Any other comments or questions, council?
Just a lot of good, appreciate a lot of good hard work getting this done.
Absolutely, on
Without
both
going
sides.
to-
So to
Not going to
the
arbitration.
staff and to also the union representatives in the police department. Both teams worked very hard to get to a resolution, so very good. We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ratcher.
Last ordinance is an ordinance authorizing the proper officials of Monroeville to enter into a collective bargaining agreement for the years 2020 through 2023 with the PSSU Local 668 SEIU, representing the municipal clerical workers and the emergency telecommunication officers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Arcinigo? Mr. Duncan?
This being my last ordinance vote, aye.
Oh, nice.
It's historical.
Mr. Wilson?
Mr.
Aye.
Very good. The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Ratcher. And we have, and Mr. Ratcher, you can keep the floor here. Do you have anything to report this evening?
I just want to recognize Mr. Johns and Mr. Duncan and say it was a privilege to serve up here with them and wish them well.
Thank you.
Great.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Mr. Little.
Yeah, a couple items there, and a couple of additional items from Thursday night. As I've mentioned the last couple months, there will be a repair project on Northern Pike near Abers Creek Road, about 800 feet from Abers Creek Road up, and that'll be beginning in January tentatively and going through May. They have to fix buttress the side of the hillside. It is slipping. and they will have traffic control devices in place for that. Again, once again, it's tentative, starting in January and ending in May. Second item is Christmas and New Year's weeks. The refuse and recycling, keep in mind, will be a day late. And every other year, under the Home Rule Charter, and also every borough in the Commonwealth and first-class township will have what's called a reorganizational meeting, and it's the first Monday of each year, and new council members, newly elected officials will be sworn in, and it's the first Monday, which will be January 6th. And under the Borough Code, council has the option, if they wish, to take the regular council meeting or work session and combine it with that. Last year, 2 years ago, you combined the work session with that. Is there any discussion with doing that, or you don't want to do it?
I'd like to make a motion that we combine both of them on the
I would second that.
Oh, that's just the work session?
Mm-hmm. Just a word.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, okay, the work session, and we'll advertise as such, the work session, which would be for January the 9th, will be on, during the, after the reorganizational meeting of January the 6th.
Do we have to advertise that?
What we'll do is we'll advertise, because we have in the paper already, all the meetings, if it has gone into the paper yet. I know Dara has put it into the Post-Gazette. Now, whether they've put it in already, I don't know. But that work session, the first work session of the year, will be on January the 6th and not January the 9th.
Thank you.
Does that include Citizens Night?
What about citizens?
Yeah, that's Citizens Night, too.
Citizen night.
Right.
Work session.
Yeah,
and
see,
citizens
that's what I
night.
thought.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, one thing that's not on the agenda, Joe, do you want to put up, we had last night.
Mr. Mayor, may I interrupt? Sorry, Tim. We had a motion and a second to do that.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry,
didn't
that's
do
right,
a
we had a
roll
motion
call
and a second. You're
You're right.
Hold that up, Joe.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we have a motion and a second to move our January work session and agenda-setting meeting to January 6th, Monday.
Correct.
Very good. Any other discussion? We good? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
I'm in favor as long as I can watch it from my couch.
Yeah.
And we expect you to be here.
Mr. Osenko?
That
Mr.
was good.
Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Very good. The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So, Mr. Little, you have,
Yeah, one thing.
Holiday Light Contest.
Yeah, the Holiday Light Contest, which was conducted last night, just going to show you the winners in each ward, and we do not know who has won, who was
Nice.
on the committee, but this is Ward 1 at 2370 Tilbrook Road.
Nice.
Very nice. Ward 2 is 117 Trotwood Drive.
Nice.
Ward 3 is 106 Donley Drive.
That's nice.
Ward 4, 309 Altaview Drive. And Ward 5, 248 Willow Drive. Ward 6, 1400 John Street. And the last Ward 7, 615 Blueberry Road. All very, very nice. And a
so
lot
we
of-
don't have the grand prize?
Not yet.
The votes?
They may know, I don't know. They may know, but
I'd like to make a
Announce it.
motion, Ward 7.
well,
We're not-
I thought Philbrook was the best.
Very good.
I love
Great.
Trotwood, actually, was wonderful.
Well, big thanks to everyone that participated in that, and the Parks and Recreation Department for going out. So the way it works, actually, all the representatives from each of the wards that are on the Parks and Recreation Board, they will actually go to they'll drive every house in their ward, and they pick a winner, and then the entire board then goes out together, and they go to each individual winners and pick a grand champion, which maybe they haven't done yet.
no, I don't know if they
Hopefully we
have.
can find out here soon. But thanks to everybody for getting festive here in our community.
Yeah.
Mr. Little, anything else this evening?
Yeah, the last thing on my agenda is, as council knows, back in March or April, I was approached by a company by the name of CGI out of Rochester, New York, to do a promotional video for Monroeville at no cost to us and to businesses that would advertise on it. And I would like to present that to the public and show the promotional video to the public. Joe, and it's in segments, and it'll be on our website, and go ahead, you can get it started.
Welcome to Monroeville. I'm Mayor Nick Griesock. We are a community with great amenities, excellent schools, and diverse neighborhoods. We have recreational opportunities for people of all ages. It's a great place for families to settle down and continue to grow.
Located just east of Pittsburgh, we have a suburban feel with a quick 30-minute drive to Pennsylvania's second largest city. While we update our roads, Monroeville is making them not only safer for drivers, but also for bicyclists and pedestrians, creating more travel options for residents and visitors.
As we move forward together, Monroeville aspires to be a great place to live for everyone. Come to town and see what we're all about.
Nice.
Monroeville has more than 650 acres of parkland, and we encourage our residents and visitors to spend time outdoors. You can enjoy good weather at one of the many parks or walking trails in town. Community Park West offers a variety of outdoor attractions with a baseball field, a playground, trails, and an amphitheater. Whether you're there for a Little League game or an afternoon concert, there's always something going on.
Monroeville's best-kept secret is the Westmoreland County Heritage Trail. It starts in the borough of Trafford, and it continues through Monroeville for 1 mile and goes through the adjacent community of Murraysville. And if you are a biker, if you are a walker, or you enjoy any kind of recreational activities, the Westmoreland County Heritage Trail is a must-see here in Monroeville.
The railway that once connected Monroeville and Murraysville has been converted into a trail, providing a new and interesting place to exercise. The old railroads laid tracks across the area, following the trails and waterways in their pursuit across the state. With plenty of outdoor space available, Monroeville is a great place for the whole family to explore. In Monroeville, the business district is always bustling. Located just off the William Penn Highway, this area provides great opportunity for business owners looking to relocate. Just down the road, there's also the iconic Monroeville Mall. With more than 100 stores, you can find anything you need right in town. Having these shopping hubs is beneficial to residents. If you're looking to open your own business, there's always spaces available. And if you're looking for a job, there are always places hiring. If you're looking for a suburban feel within the greater Pittsburgh area, come make Monroeville your new home. Students in Monroeville attend the Gateway School District, which is comprised of 4 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. In the Gateway School District, we're committed to providing a quality education to our students. We develop lifelong learners ready to face today's ever-changing world.
The district has received multiple awards over the years, from the distinction as the United States Blue Ribbon Award winner, but also most recently from the United States U.S. News and World Report as one of the highest ranked districts in the country.
With classrooms that expose students to current technology and extracurricular activities that diversify their learning, students have the opportunity to flourish in the Gateway School District. With close proximity to Pittsburgh, students can continue their education locally at distinguished colleges such as the University of Pittsburgh or Carnegie Mellon University. In Monroeville, your students' future is in good hands.
We were particularly fortunate when the Pennsylvania Turnpike was built and came through this area, in that Monroeville was designated as an exit for the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
U.S. Steel consolidated their research labs here in the early 1950s. After they moved in, other large companies followed suit throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Continued development occurred with the establishment of 2 major hospitals and a host of related medical services in the community. Our most distinctive historic building is the Old Stone Church, gleaming in the sun on its small hill overlooking Monroeville. Boasting incredible architecture that dates back to the 1840s, it's accompanied by a bell tower dedicated to George Westinghouse and Nikola Tesla. Among the oldest homes in Monroeville are the McGinley Stone House and the McCulley Log House from the late 18th and early 19th century. Today, these timeless structures serve as local museums, carefully preserved by the Municipality of Monroeville. With our rich history, Monroeville is a Pittsburgh municipality you need to visit. In Monroeville, the healthcare industry is thriving. Home to both the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center and Forbes Hospital, families are in close proximity to world-class healthcare.
As Monroeville's largest employer, Forbes Hospital has a legacy of compassionate care and exceptional medicine for more than 40 years.
These hospitals do not only provide high levels of care, they're also large employers in the area. With jobs ranging from doctors to patient transport, there's an array of jobs in the healthcare system.
At UPMC East, the residents of Monroeville and the surrounding region can expect to receive a wide range of world-class care, have cutting-edge medical technology available to them, and are treated to an incredible patient experience right here in their community.
When it comes to health and wellness of your family, great care is available from hospitals located right in Monroeville. In our community, the value of community organizations improve our quality of life by the interests and spirit those organizations uphold. Community organizations provide opportunities for friends and neighbors to give back, get involved, and come together while creating a sense of pride for the city they all share. Contact a community organization today and discover the contribution you can make through your participation and support.
Okay, that is a promotional video. I think CGI did a very good job in doing that, and that'll be on our website running for the next few months. And realtors and other people can go onto our website, and if anybody is from out of state looking to relocate to the Pittsburgh area, this is something that is a useful tool to promote the amenities of Monroeville. So, okay, and that concludes my report.
Great. Okay. Mr. Hugus.
No report, Mayor.
Ms. Rock.
All right, I do have a report, and you should have copies of it that would have been in your packet. You had asked about the fund balance on Thursday. So I am providing you with the fund balance as of November 30th this year, and I added 2018 and 2017, so you can get a trend and idea of how it's changing since 17. Joe, if you want to put that picture up, the fund balance trend is basically your cash, and the red column is your total cash. The blue column is your operating cash. So you can see that it was fairly consistent in 17 and 18, but this year, just because of the spending we've had to do, we're down at a pretty low level now. Hopefully, that'll get built back up. Now, the part that's between the blue and the red, that was really going to indicate your savings, which you can see on the other page, which I didn't provide a copy for the TV screen because the numbers are too small. But your savings has been relatively consistent throughout that time. So hopefully we're not going to have to take much more out of our savings as we continue on. And that's all I have, if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, good job.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep, nice job.
Thank you. You can have it.
And we're going to move over to our public comment on any municipal items. We'll go off the sign-in sheet. Jim Johns, it's the first one on the list.
Hey, number one.
This is my life. I'm going over here. There's a method. Try to be brief.
Yeah.
Never have. That's very quick.
He promised, ladies and gentlemen, about a 2-hour speech last night, so we'll see.
Good evening.
Welcome.
My name is Jim Johns. I am a resident of Monroeville. I've been waiting to come up here for a long time to do that. You know what? It wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Okay, that being said, I've been working on my speech for a couple months. A good friend of mine and your mayor, Dr. Greasoff, he once told me, JJ, The 5-minute rule doesn't count for you. Well, I spent the last week reading this thing every night, word for word. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get it under 45 minutes. Thanks to my daughter Sam, who writes a lot of speeches, she gave me the smaller version, and I'm going to read that. Most of you know I'm done with council. Since this is my last meeting in my term, I'd like to take a minute or so and say thank you to all my council members, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Ratcher, Mr. Little, all you folks to my left, especially you, Mr. Hughes. You know, one thing I learned, if you have a question and need an answer, this is a guy that has it. Most of all, the residents of Monroeville for electing me. It's been an honor and a privilege. Come on, Jimmy, get your shit together. Stop. I'm trying. Say the last 8 years has been interesting would be an understatement. When I thought I knew all there was to know about Monroeville, another day brought another lesson. So to the new team about to take, even though my daughter did this, she could have made him a little bigger. Now I really can't see. About to take the seats in January, I offer the words of good luck. Remember, I learned this a long time ago. 4 beats 3 all day long. If you're not on a favored team, it'll be a long road, but it's a road that's well worth traveling for the residents because they're the reason we do what we do. And while I may no longer be a councilman, I've been asked by many residents and council to continue my role as chairman of the 4th of July Parade and Fireworks. I've given it a lot of thought, and I've decided to lead this exciting event for our municipality. But you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So I am very fortunate to have a great committee that truly masterminds the event of this summer and every summer. So to Paul Estock and his staff, and to the entire committee, I'm looking forward to continuing our journey together. Remember, I may be gone, but hopefully not forgotten, and there's no clock in politics. So again, thank you, Monroeville. I look forward to seeing you out and about. Come on, Jimmy. Have a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous New Year. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And we're going to still keep.
Sit out there.
We're still going to keep in with the public comments on any municipal items. We do have a 5-minute time limit for everyone else. But if there is anyone that would like to address council, now would be your time. Sir, if you could just sign in and state your name for the record.
My name is Robert Serafini. I am a member of Monroeville. I don't know where Mr. Johns disappeared to.
He's in the back.
He's in the car.
In the back.
Jimmy, get back up
He's
there.
the resident now.
Back up there.
JJ, need you.
No,
He has to make the motion.
I just wanted to say, thank you, Mr. Duncan, who has given us extra advice because of his past dealing with the municipality. I think he's done an excellent job, and I'm sorry to see you leave, but God bless you.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Johns. Mr. Johns is my ward chairman. I tell you what, he's a hell of a man. He's done a hell of a job. And I can name a couple projects he's done in the neighborhood that he's done well for the neighbors and everything else. He's done the Monroeville Boulevard out there near West Patty Drive. He was out there almost every day while they were paving that road and everything else. It was like it was his driveway. But he was out there, and I know he put a hell of a lot of work in it. Now, some of the things, like I said, Mr. Johns does the parade, which I'm so glad you're going to continue. He does a children's party too, where he gives gifts to the children. I don't think too many people are aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
But he does that on his own. He's also done some other work in the neighborhood, like I said, that has made me proud. And I'm glad he's been my ward chairman, and I'm glad that I voted for him as many times as I could. Now, I'd like to say something else. I'm a member of Monroeville, and thanks to these two gentlemen and everybody up here, you've all made my life a little bit easier in Monroeville. And I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does anyone else would like to address council? We're going to close that portion of the meeting, and we're going to move over to our reports of our council members. Mr. Wilson, please. Start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, I'd just like to thank Steve and JJ for their hard work and for also being my friend. And I'm going to miss you guys big time, but I know where to find you. So anyway, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and safe and healthy New Year. And thanks you to the Scouts for coming tonight. It's a very meaningful thing for us because we don't often get the young folks in here to participate in our meetings, and I think we should do it more often, and thank you, every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Duncan.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. JJ, can I borrow your readers? I forgot mine.
Get them those orange ones again.
I want them back, though. It's very important. I paid a lot of money for them.
Look at these. Wow.
That's worth it right there.
Speaking of, I can't
Look at
wear
yourself
these.
on TV. Look at yourself on TV.
Speaking of, wow, 8 years, man, time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Up here, it was an experience. First of all, I want to thank the residents for the opportunity to serve. It's been awesome for the past 8 years. You know, politics can be rough at times, but one thing I know, every member up here is doing their best for Monroeville. To the staff and employees, without their help and input, it would be impossible to do, to serve and do this job. Man, I'm getting choked up like you.
Sorry. I thought it would be easy and run out the door.
It's kind of weird.
Should have had a Miller Lite here. It'd been better.
45 years of my life, I've been with Monroeville one way or the other, and it's just kind of odd. Lastly, I want to thank my friends and family, and especially my wife, Michelle, for tolerating me for the last 8 years. I wish the best to this council and my replacement, Mr. Williams. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Thank you all.
Boy, that's kind of a hard act to follow with these two.
Well, I mean, right here, take these back.
But as Mr. Wilson has said to all the Scouts here, thank you for coming on, and it is, it's really a pleasure as well as an honor to have you here with us. And because you know what, many of you are going to be our future leaders, and not too many years from now. As you see, we're all getting kind of old. We have to wear crazy glasses and all that stuff. But thank you for all coming out. For Steve and Jimmy, thank you for your dedication. And I'm sure that many of you don't, maybe most of you, I do hope, at times this is a very trying position. Even though we volunteered to do it, you know, even when you're right, people will say we're wrong. And, but they've hung in there for the whole 8 years. We've certainly had our differences. We've had our agreements. And that's called good politics. To the new council members coming on, Steve and Bob, looking forward to you coming up here. Get ready. You're in for a good ride. And to my other colleagues up here, thank you for a great year. Thank you for supporting me on my county position as president of the Bars Association. I really couldn't have done it without your support. You know, I had to miss several meetings throughout the year, but thank you for that. And to everybody else, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays for all the various holidays out there. And thank you.
Greg, do you have the hat that you normally wear?
No.
Very good. Mr. Harvey.
Yes, I want to remind the Logans Ferry Road residents of the meeting that is here tomorrow at 7 p.m. And to the Glenwood residents, the traffic study for the stop signs yielded the following results. They suggest to add 2 stop signs to the intersection of Bay Hill Drive and Newberry. There is no stop sign warranted on Old William Penn Highway at Glenwood. However, the recommendation is that Glenwood Condo Association trim the trees back to improve the sight distance. They did this once, according to Mr. Hugus, back in 2006.
Correct.
And they need to do it again. And the engineering and traffic study is back for Logan's Ferry Road and Skyview, and the study does not warrant a stop sign at this time. After the first of the year, council will be considering a capital budget, and appropriate officials will be meeting to discuss the security of the entire municipality, including the municipal center, public works, the library, the senior center, and the training center. So I want everybody out there that's concerned about that issue to know that that subject is going to move forward, but it has to wait until the capital budget and the funding is approved, because this council wants to move forward on the security of all its properties, not any one alone. I have a question. Does anybody, Paul or Tim, do you know if the Pondview Drive streetlights have been repaired or added, or?
The trees have been trimmed, and Tim ordered the new streetlight.
Yeah, they have been notified. Duquesne Light has been notified. That's all I can say right now. They had a change in the gentleman that usually takes care of adding streetlights and putting it into the process. He's been transferred a month ago, and there's a new guy that's taken over. Whether that's delayed it or not, I don't know, but they're well aware of it.
Okay. I also, once again, want to thank Mr. Johns and Mr. Duncan for all they've done on council. Like I said last meeting, I don't know how many people remember what they went through with the previous elected officials, but they are a very large reason of why, in my opinion, we were able to capture and rebuild the municipality, if you will. I think there was a lot of wrongs done that they hung in there with Mr. Arasinko as mayor, and our current mayor was part of council at the time too. But I want to thank Mr. Johns and Mr. Duncan for all they did. I want to wish their families, along with the employees, the residents, and the rest of my council constituents, a very happy and safe holiday. And that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Mr. Johns, do you
Yeah, I
have anything else?
apologize. When I was up there babbling my speech away, I forgot one thing. Ron, I did get your note, and I called the convention center, and they're going to keep me abreast when the cornholers are going to be in town, so I'll be able to let you know.
I knew that was coming.
To my two good friends sitting in the back of the audience that showed up to see me off, thank you. I'm done.
Great. You sure?
I'm plussed.
Fantastic. Mr. Poach, please.
Municipal reports, looking forward, in the beginning of next month, you'll hear there's some progress in the libraries and a couple of the projects that are ongoing over there. They've just, they're working through the process to bring on a couple of also folks as interns to help with some projects that are ongoing there, and I expect to have a strong report from them for the next year, as that those projects move forward to do that. It was a very positive piece. And to Steve and to Jim, I mean, Steve, you offered a historical perspective that was unparalleled by any of us on many occasions, because when we asked, you said, I did it. Not like I heard about it or I remembered. I'm the one that did X, Y, Z. So on more than one occasion, thank you for all of that and bringing that perspective and knowing what's going on there. Jim, and I'm glad someone else brought it up too, I'm not sure everybody knows as many of the charitable organizations. That's the first time I met you at one of those charitable organizations, and we all happily left a few dollars lighter for all those things that you engage with, particularly this time of year for the projects that you're engaged with, and it's great to keep doing that too. It's been great serving with you guys, and look forward to seeing you more in the future. And happy holidays to everyone else out there too.
I think we should also, before Minnie jump in, it's Santa's kids that he works with, Steelers voice, Bill Hillgrove, every year. So, good job, Jim.
We did it. We had our event last night for what it's worth. A lot of these folks showed up. I want to say thank you for that. And because of folks like these, we raised a lot of money, got a lot of toys, and we'll make a whole bunch of kids and their families happy this year.
It's great event.
Yeah, and he's really given, Mr. Johns is, giving an understatement. I mean, the amount of money they raise, the amount of toys they hand out, it's phenomenal. And
many families.
Really, I think these guys just really, they try to find an excuse to go out and have fun, and they raise money in the process.
There you go.
But they do a super job, him and Mr. Hillgrove and everyone involved, and it's always a nice event.
Thank you.
Mrs. Gatos.
Well, speaking of Santa's kids, number 72 reported as eligible at the event of Santa's kids.
Yes, he did.
So that was a lot of fun to be able to say that. We had a great year, a long year. We, closed contracts for the police, for the clerical, for the dispatchers, and that was in part thanks to our councilmen that are leaving us. And it's hard to say goodbye to people that you've been with, because you guys welcomed us in when we were new into a situation that was so bad and helped us learn some of the ropes so that we could help make the municipality run better. And I want to thank you for everything you brought to us, gave to us, the doors that you opened, the knowledge that you provided over the years. We've had our ups and downs, but I think that if it ran too smooth, something would have been wrong. So I think our personalities all came through. I want to thank everyone that worked so hard on our budget. I think our employees were stellar this year. And I want to say happy holidays and New Year's. Please be safe out there. And again, thank you, gentlemen, and to your families for your time that you gave. We all know we put a lot in.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Very good. And I'm going to echo a lot of the same comments here in a moment. I want to thank the Scouts for coming out for our meeting and getting a little civics lesson here. We appreciate you coming out. You're welcome anytime. Steve and Jimmy, us three, we started together. It's been
Three amigos.
It's been an interesting 8 years, and ups and downs, like a lot of council members said up here. There's not two people on earth that agree all the time, let alone 7 people that agree all the time. So it is definitely a challenge. It's a challenge with working with residents, business people in Monroeville, but certainly everything that you've done in the best interest of the community, the way you felt was the best interest of the community, both of you, and put a lot of time and effort into it. And none of us can say that enough. So we really appreciate the 8 years you dedicated to our community, and it's been a real pleasure getting to know you, and I really value our friendship and look forward to seeing you when you're on the other side of the dais here.
There you go.
Great.
Thanks.
And I just want to wish everybody in the community a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate it, a Happy Holidays to everyone else, a Happy New Year, and yes, one of my last job here with Mr. Johns and Mr. Duncan, I would like to present these plaques on behalf of council for your service here, with your
Hold it up, Nick.
with your dates of your
Let
service.
them hold them up.
Yes.
We will. I'm going to hand these off to you guys here now.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
All right, Mr. Johns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nibble Nuts. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, get a good shot of those for them,
I'd like to
Joe.
see them
See you.
close.
Good job.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Put it behind you. Put it behind you.
what? Behind me?
Very good.
We really do know what we're doing for real sometimes.
Well, guys, thanks again. It's been a real pleasure. And could I maybe get a motion to adjourn by
So
one of
moved.
you?
Gregory.
Gregory.
Oh, never mind.
Withdraw.
What are we doing?
Let them do it.
We got a motion to it. We have 2 motions to adjourn, and Mr. Duncan and Mr. Johnson. We have a second. Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's been a
Guys,
real
have it.
pleasure.
Thank you and good night.
Thanks, guys.